I have just finished up the campaign of Outriders on one class, Trickster, and am headed into the endgame. Before I do that, I wanted to share this interview I did with People Can Fly's Bartek Komita, creative director, and Peter Nowakowski, lead game designer, who were kind enough to answer some questions I had ahead of the game's launch. I really found their answers enlightening, a continued part of their theory of transparency, and they talk openly about how much Diablo influenced the game, how the Xbox deal came together, and comments on potential future content, even as the game is not meant to be a live service endeavor. Check out the interview below. How is Outriders meant to be played? As in, it's initially presented like a cover shooter, but soon you realize that aggression and movement are key to recovering health. Is this going to be true throughout, or at higher difficulties, will players need to be more frequently in cover? Bartek Komita. From the start, we presented Outriders as a game that can be played as a cover shooter, or without using the cover much at all. Because of the pedigree of People Can Fly, many thought the game was going to be a cover shooter like Gears of War, so we wanted to change our strategy to present this game as one that could be played as a more aggressive shooter game that doesn't rely on cover, if players liked that playstyle. We wanted to show that this game can be played in different ways, and that the players could choose their preferred playstyle. Peter Nowakowski. As far as the second part of the question goes, about difficulty, that will depend on the individual player and their build. Cover isn't strictly linked to difficulty, but more so with general playstyle. Players won't be forced to play in a certain way based on difficulty, it always comes down to how they build their character. A point of confusion seems to be the number of loading screens between opening doors or jumping across maps in the open world. I've heard this is in part meant to facilitate co-op, but is there a possible future solution to reduce the number of these segments? BK. This was designed as our tool to make sure players don't spread too far across the maps. We wanted players to play together and decide together where they were going. It did seem some players of the demo were a bit annoyed at the short cutscenes when moving from area to area, but unfortunately those are needed for technical reasons. I can assure you that in the final cut of the game, the experience is better than the demo when you move away from that dense opening area. PN. The system is needed to 1. Gather the players in one place, and 2. To show players where they are going, and these transitions help inform the players of what is happening. In short, the system will not change, so there will still be transitions. And while the beginning of the game will still be cutscene heavy, we did definitely tweak other parts to improve the overall experience.